It's not that I think that this is actually real news, but in the day and times that we live in, you can't always decipher what is true and what's not. However, using pacifiers or any other kind of object as a coping tool for anxiety can be disastrous. In the short term, it could be okay. In the long run, it's not feasible. Here's why. Because there are places that you're not going to be able to enter with that tool that you're using for coping. This is one of the reasons why it's beneficiary for you to have your coping toolbox, because if one tool is not going to fit a certain situation or work in a certain environment, you're able to pick another tool. The other part of it that could make this very detrimental is when people become overly dependent on a tool to cope and they forget that tool, or like they find themselves in environments where they cannot use that tool. Then what? Now you have somebody who is now in a greater level of distress because they don't have this particular tool to cope with their anxiety or depression. For example, okay, let's say for real, China is making that a thing, right? And that individual is going to a world nations meeting that has other countries, and that tool is not permitted in that kind of environment, right? These are some things for you to think about when you're choosing coping tools for anxiety or depression. This is one of the reasons why I'm always on the side of using things on you to cope. Example, your breath. You're going to always be with your breath wherever you are. So long as you're alive, you're going to always have your breath with you. So you can never go wrong with using breathing as a coping mechanism. Whether you're anxious or not, just default. Breathing, mindfulness, grounding, right? In a meeting, you can ground yourself by paying attention to feeling the chair, feeling the sole of your feet, where your feet is making contact with your shoes, paying attention to things that you're seeing, using all your senses on you. You're going to be everywhere with all of your senses, right? But then if you're using tools, like if you're using a rock or you're using a band or you're using a ring, what if you forget the ring? What if you forget the band? When the band breaks, then it's almost like you're broken, right? But let me know what your thoughts are, or if you have questions about this in the comment section. I hope this makes sense. Okay, bye.